I've known Chauncey for 30 odd years. We met in Boston while we were pursuing the early years of the housing industry. Early on, we were involved in housing development projects in and around Roxbury, the predominantly black and Hispanic neighborhood of the city of Boston. It was a very rough time. That was a period when you really got a chance to show your true colors. The neighborhood was going through a rapid kind of degeneration, and people were trying to bail out. And I watched Chauncey come into the neighborhood and set a new standard for everyone in the neighborhood. Our expectation, the bar was raised as a result of this guy showing up and just excelling at the things that had to happen. I mean, they were very difficult. He didn't have to. He certainly could have done projects in the suburbs and done other kinds of activity, but he kind of chose to stay and do what I think was kind of in his heart what was right.
There are people who promise you that they're going to do things. There are people that kind of represent that they have the ability to do something for you, and very few follow through, and Chauncey did. I've met a lot of people that have gone to schools like Harvard and myself at Georgetown, and that might not be the way that most or the majority of them act. There's a level of pretense, there's I don't care about community, I want to get mine. I've never gotten that from Chauncey.
So it wasn't a surprise at all when we found out that Chauncey had kind of paved the way, was again another pioneer, and went into Detroit, the West End, the East End of Detroit, opening up banks so that people could get loans and people could do new business. That didn't come as a surprise. We were like, oh, okay, that's who the guy is. He's that kind of guy. Chicago, Boston, DC, Atlanta, North Carolina in particular. People looked at this guy as a leadership of our whole neighborhood, of a whole community. I've watched this guy for years do what was right when he didn't have to.
The National Center for Children and Families is a 100-year-old former orphanage founded in the District of Columbia by the DC Baptist Convention. And over the years, particularly in the 25 years I've been at the helm, it's become much more community-based and comprehensive, helping the community take care of its most vulnerable members, homeless children and families, maltreated children and youth, youngsters in the foster care and juvenile justice systems, and schools that are struggling with the poverty impact on their students' proficiency. We invited him to be a speaker at the inaugural Youth Summit, where we brought together youth from all of our programs in the region. And many of these youth have been involved in the juvenile justice system, had contact with the law, and are really struggling with finding their way in the world. I think this led to his supporting us taking 20 young people, 4th and 5th graders, to Costa Rica. Why that was important? They got a chance to study in another country. They got a chance to get on a plane for the first time. They got a chance to see, did what they learned really play out when they got there? Just change their brain.
He means so much, not just to me, but to our community and to the community. To see what he's done here with NCCF, I mean, it's been amazing, and it's been great to work with him.
When I asked him to be my mentor, I was having a very difficult time professionally. Women execs often have difficult times professionally, and his ability to reach out to me and let me call him all over the country and get his consultation is extraordinarily personal and validating. And that's what makes him special, is that his success does not make him brittle and narcissistic and self-centered. He's continued to care.
Anybody who looks to help others once they've achieved a certain point of success comes from a foundation of sharing and giving. Every group has successful people that kind of lift that bridge after they get on the other side, and they don't want to help, they don't want to extend a hand back. So I think it says a lot again about the person's core, their foundation, when they don't have to do something, but they extend themselves to do it.
He's very committed to his family, and there's not one year that would go by where he doesn't bring his family together. And in fact, he's also there for other people's families as well.
I was introduced to Chauncey, I'm going to say 25, 30 years ago, up in Boston, Massachusetts. We were actually introduced, Chauncey became a friend of my dad's prior to becoming a very dear friend of mine. In terms of speaking to Chauncey's character, before, during, or after, I've had some challenges in my life. When it was on Thanksgiving morning, 9 years ago, 8.5, almost 9 years ago, that I got a call that my little brother had suddenly passed away. He was 44 years old and he had passed in Philadelphia. We got the call, it all happened very quickly. Long story short, who arrives at the wake from wherever Chauncey Mayfield may have been at that point in his time in his life was Chauncey. So he made arrangements, cleared his schedule to come and spend 2 days with his extended family, the Peck family. And that really meant a lot. Then about a year after that, my little sister passed away. And she was up in New Hampshire. And again, one of the first people to show and the last people to leave. And to be there for my family, which was now down to 2, my father and myself, was Chauncey Mayfield. In all of those scenarios, there were plenty of people that were within a 30-mile radius who certainly could have done some level of expression of sympathy and sadness and hope. But Chauncey was the one who showed up and delivered way beyond any expectation I could have ever imagined. And I'll be always, always grateful for that. That is just the kind of person he is.
My name is Marie Lewis Saint. I am the president of Gateway Airport Concessions, and I'm also the president and founder of the Little Haiti Optimist Club. The Little Haiti Optimist Club is an organization that I founded with a group of friends of mine. We're volunteers in the organization, but we started the organization to help youth in Little Haiti in our community. We have a summer camp, and it's free to the kids in the community. It's an 8-week program from 8 to 6 p.m. The parents can drop off their kids, go to work, do whatever they're gonna do, and the kids basically, they get a hot breakfast, a hot lunch, and they get snacks. And a lot of the kids in the community, that's their only meal for that day. So it's very important that we're able to do that for these students, because otherwise they may go hungry. We have a athletic program where we have young boys that are part of our program. He's mentored a lot of those young boys, and a lot of those kids, they don't have parents, they don't have mentors, and he's basically been there for them. And it's just, just encouraging them, letting them know that they can be successful as well. And that's very important to hear it from somebody who is successful. We took 40 students that are seniors in high school. We put them on a track where we helped them apply for scholarships, apply to schools, helped them with financial aid, made sure that they took their SATs and ACTs to help them increase their scores so they can get into better schools. He was one of the people that helped us, made sure that our budget was right for our proposal, made sure that we had a financial plan so we can implement the program, and we did get the funding for the program. A lot of these kids, their parents don't come to graduations that they have because the parents are working, they're busy, or they're just probably not engaged. And to just see Chauncey there, to be able to applaud these kids who graduated, it was a great deal. And we're very happy about that. He was there to support them. We have a toy giveaway every year, and this was going to be our 4th year. And I was just having a conversation with him as a friend, letting him know that one of our sponsor had pulled out, and that these kids were not going to get toys for Christmas. And in that community, that one toy that they get from us is probably the only toy that they would get. He said, Marie, I want to make sure that every kid gets a toy. And it blew me away, because he didn't have to do that. And every child did get a toy. He didn't want his name on anything. He never looks for recognition. He just does. He just wanted to be able to make sure that those kids had a beautiful Christmas. And that's just the kind of person that he is.
My short conversations with Chauncey speaks to his deep sadness that he made a choice that was not really good for him or the community. What I do also see is that Chauncey takes full responsibility for that choice.
He's actually contemplating what happened, what he did, his responsibility, and what he can do. That in and of itself, it's not like I got caught and I feel bad. It is, I have to do something different. I know what I did. What can I do now to continue to help? How is this going to make me a better person?
What I really get a sense of is that Chauncey's a better man now because he's openly owned his mistake.
We need him out here doing what he does. We need him out here doing what he does best, which is building, which is making sure that people continue to dream, that dreams are continually realized, and to be that mentor that he's been. That's where he needs to be.